It's like, did you see this segment? And this will be like if you guys run into something that's out of the ordinary or something like that, send us a pic, we'll show it. But he thought this was actually really cool. I don't know what that is in there. Is that like
no, it includes Orko. It's like that's not Orko.
That is a Toonie Terrors misfit.
But isn't the Toonie Terrors more expensive than this entire set?
Right now, yeah, that would have. That's.
So I'm like, why would you do that? And who was this guy? Is that like the Marvel? Who's the Marvel guy that's supposed to be like Tarzan?
No, I think that's the actual He-Man. I think that's...
Oh, that is He-Man. That's not like what Tazar or whatever his name is.
Tazar, yeah. But I do think that's the actual Savage He-Man. But
okay, but not Orko. That's not Orko.
Someone really wanted Orko, and instead they got Orko out and put the Misfits guy in there.
No, they could have got that Toonie Terrors over at Ross because they've been popping up over there, so they probably got that super cheap. A minute, you got a beard? You got a beard? You got a beard? You got a beard?
As long as I've been alive, I remember them being behind some kind of lock and key, even before I had a beard. Now it's razors and Lego.
That's
and if
better.
you live where Vern lives, man,
it's socks. Yeah, it's socks.
Vern, now you're happening, man.
All right.
Yeah. No, I mean like shampoo and conditioner at my stores are under lock and key.
Razors.
Doesn't that stuff cost like $1?
They steal it all the time. It's one of the most stolen things, you know.
Vern, you just got like 100,000 more subscribers. Did you see that?
You did, yeah.
Like,
I know how all these toy companies can increase their toy sales 21.9% exactly. So, like any toy packaging you get, it's called the old cross sell, which 0 toy companies do now. And let there's one. Tell me which one shows whichever figures, the kids or the adults can still go buy. Why this isn't done?
Well, don't they put them on the back
beyond
of the
me and
packages?
The person that said let's stop doing this. Hopefully, they got fired long ago because it's the stupidest idea ever to not cross promote, cross sell, free advertise your own product. Like this is not necessary.
That card back's gone.
It's on a smaller
scale. Not necessary because
that
it's
card
already
back's
written
gone,
on this piece of paper here. Every word that's on the back of this is on this piece of paper here, and I'm not sure if it needs to be seen at retail unless you're in the province of Quebec only. Like literally, like I'm sorry to all the people in the chat, but the reason why our packages look like that is because
Super 7 Reaction does it. Reaction does it. They have every figure available.
They're not sold in retail.
We'll see.
But they're sold at Walmart. What are you talking about?
They're not sold at Walmart in Canada.
They're sold at Walmart and Target. Yeah, they are.
They're not sold in Canada at any. We have rules in Canada. You have to have French on your packaging in Canada. So that changed the toy game, which is why you don't have 11 different versions of a Star Wars package now. You have one that goes to Canada, that goes to America, that goes to England, that goes to Australia. We all get the same package now.
So Rick, your idea was basically providing more material on existing packaging or elsewhere for
absolutely
a list. Well, I think
some of the designs are outstanding, like the new D&D stuff that was, even though it was in a windowless box, they're beautiful looking boxes with all that cartoon artwork. But you turn the back around, I bet you there's no cross sell of the other 4 figures in the wave, which makes no sense at all.
Mattel does it with all their He-Man figures.
Yes. Well, Hasbro did it back in the day. Kenner did it back in the day. And now I think you got some of those new Fright features, John. Do they have any retro cross sells on the back? The new Ghostbusters? Or do they not?
They only show the 4 figures that you...
Okay, but that's something. Like, and Vern, that one, that's, because it's more directed at kids, they're showing the features of the toys and stuff. And so I still see some of that, but the stuff that's geared towards, the older collectors that aren't 6 years old, it just has all these words on it that really.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. I think a lot of that also predates social media, right? And spoilers coming out, and when they're producing a lot of product for new media and whatnot.
Pipeline reveals, if you go back, and I did this because we had an argument on the show. They said when they first decided to do the pipelines, they said, this is going to be like kind of a new thing. We're just trying it out. We're going to reveal that we're going to make these figures, but we don't have anything to show you in the way of a product. So that's why you're getting this. That's kind of how they explained it. So when they pipeline something like a Stormtrooper or a Darth Vader, and they're pipelining like an archive collection of a Darth Vader, and they're saying they can't take a computer render of the Darth Vader they already made and put it on a computer render of an archive package. They're full of it.
So Vern admitted. Hold on. That's weird. That's weird.
It does have to be approved by Mickey Mouse.
Sure.
Before it's shown to the public. I know that for a fact because I do some of the artwork. So
that's fine.
They don't show it until it's approved. And usually they show it like very shortly after, once they say it's been approved by the Mouse. But they can show actual images.
So they're weird. So like maybe the execution of it hasn't landed 100% well.
But like watered it down.
But that doesn't mean they shouldn't continue to be transparent about what's coming down the pipeline. No, maybe there's room for improvement with maybe showing better renders or whatever. But like I'd like to know. Go ahead.
Hold back, right? Like, so say they announced these 3 new Vintage Collection figures or Black Series figures. They're all going to be coming out whatever month of next year. But I mean, in that same box of figures, there's 5 other characters in that box. Mm-hmm. That are at the same stage of development, if not further ahead or just behind. Sure. So they exist. And that's what I don't understand is when they exist and they do have Mickey Mouse approved package design.
They're generally related to new media that can't be.
Just show all 10 of them and say, this wave will be coming out in April next year. It's the Ahsoka Part 2 wave. Or just
the other thing that I wish back for their streams and stuff that they would do is if they're going to make announcements, don't all of a sudden surprise the next day with like a super cool figure. With that.
There's been some of that. Yeah, like some weird media outlet gets some exclusive reveal the day after. Some of that's weird. And that's
just a pat on the back for their little crony who goes out there and tells everybody how great they are. That's just to calm everybody down before we get really heated again in the hot or not section. We're going to play a weekly game I like to call Back to. And this week, it's 1992. So everybody should have been born by now.
I was in kindergarten watching Power Rangers.
It's not too far back that some of us that have really bad memories for 1985 and 84 because we worked all summer to buy our Nintendo can remember, but 1992 was basically just around the corner.
Everything that I remember from 1992 will actually be from 1993, Vern.
Yeah. Right, perfect. So, and then I got the wrong logo on the bottom of the card. But anyways, what are the top 5 grossing movies in 1992? Now, here's the thing. Hold on. I just wanted to point this out. Like last week, Jonathan said, no, I was wrong. And what I realized was when I was looking at the numbers, there's 2 ways to look at the numbers. There's top grossing
movies, way and the wrong way.
Yeah, there's like top grossing movies that were released in 1992, top grossing movies that grossed the money in the calendar year 1992. So there's a couple of different ways. And then, of course, there's U.S. and domestic, whatever, or domestic and world.
I think you want to be with like the one that was released and did the best in 92.
Yeah, except for it.
You can't add on what it made the last.
Movies. These are going to be the movies that made the most money in 1992 in the calendar year 1992.
Yeah, you can't add on what it made in the last 50 years.
Back to the Future 2, Jaws 3. What else?
We got the here. You got the Titanic. Joseph Bed is saying Sublime. I don't know if he says that's when they started, but probably maybe that's when they came out with their big album.
That's good. I
probably didn't go see a movie in 1992.
You didn't go see a movie in 1992?
Probably not, because
he didn't.
I graduated high school in 1991. I graduated high school in 1991, June of 1991, and I started driving around because I was free, and I didn't stop driving around
You
yeah,
kept driving like
a
Forrest
year or
Gump.
two.
You were
It
driving,
was like a
driving
year.
around the country.
Yeah, my friends and I just drove around all over the place for about a year or two. We didn't do anything.
All right.
There's
So I
some
got
good movies from
Titanic,
92.
Rocketeer. Rick has guessed. Back
No
to the
Googling.
Future 2, and what else?
Oh, I was on IMDb looking it up because I couldn't remember.
You're not supposed to be doing that in the middle
That's
of the
fine.
day. But
That's fine.
Here's the top
The
5.
best little
movies.
whorehouse in Texas. No,
All right, it's not. But Batman Returns, Lethal Weapon 2, Sister Act, Home Alone 2, and Wayne's
I'm
World.
surprised Aladdin didn't make that list. I was just looking at what came
Sister
out.
Act? Really?
You got to remember, maybe the Aladdin came out towards the end of the year. This is like the top grossing movies in the calendar year 1992.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough.
So what do you think then in 1992 had won the Best Picture Academy Award?
It had to be Last of the Mohicans, right?
Cocoon.
Terms of Endearment.
Terms of Endearment. That's a good guess, John. Was that 1992 though? Because
I have no idea.
Terms of Endearment might have been like late 80s.
Oh, okay. Ghost,
huh? Any guesses?
It was Tremors. It was Tremors.
Tremors. Look, Dino.
Tremors won Best Picture.
Susan. That
Rocky
I can guarantee you did not even get a nomination. What was it? Rick?
Okay, if it wasn't Tremors,
I don't-
it was.
I'm too old to remember back that far.
Come on.
It was that movie with the little
Cocoon.
critter. It was
Cocoon.
Critters.
When in doubt,
It was.
I'm going to pick
It was-
Cocoon.
It was Critters.
Cocoon.
Pretty sure
Cocoon was like
won
last
Best Award.
1985. Oh, Cocoon 2, maybe. All
It was
right.
Critters. It
Was there
Critters.
Cocoon
It
too?
wasn't Encino Man. It
Critters
was
4.
No, Silence
Silence of the Lambs.
Critters 4.
All right, one more. Let's see. What was the
We're gonna
best
play
selling
Goodbye
toy? You guys are
Horses.
all toy experts. What was the best selling toy in 1992?
Power Rangers.
1992. Yeah, Power Rangers.
Furby.
Rick says Furby.
Furby
Yeah,
wasn't out
Power
yet.
Rangers.
Furby wasn't out yet.
How do you
Anybody
know?
in the chat?
Because I was a kid then. Furby was more like mid-90s.
Yeah, it was Power Rangers.
Yeah, I'm in the same decade though.
Well, it depends.
And it
Though.
was the top selling toy the year it was out.
Plus, it depends on if you mean at Christmas or the rest of the year.
The entire year.
Oh,
Or
well,
just
like-
that- this
Because
one
Power
toy
Rangers was the
location
hot
in
toy
Eastern
at Christmas, but it might not be the hot toy
The
for all
problem
year
with the
because it
Power
didn't
Rangers
come out
toys
until
in
then.
1992 is that when they came out, there
They-
was like
the
such a
toys went out
limited
immediately,
supply of them that they immediately sold out. They falsely made like a rush on those toys.
Yeah, it was the Christmas toy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ninja Turtles were still popular, but Super Nintendo maybe?
the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, Super Nintendo was that.
All right, so you guys. Are
I
thinking
spent
video
all
game
I spent
system,
all of 1990
Stretch
trying to save up
Armstrong.
and buy the Super Nintendo.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No, all right. You
Tickle
guys ready?
me
You guys
elbow.
ready?
Let's see it. Rubik's Cube.
Trolls.
Oh, good lord! What the hell? No, they weren't. No one
I actually
bought
watched
those.
a show on this the other day. These were actually from like the 50s and 60s originally.
Yeah.
The biker mice from Mars.
No,
Nope.
From Finland, the guy was making them.
No one
Tickle
bought
me elbow.
trolls. Everybody on Earth hated them.
How many do you got, John?
None.
All right.
0. They're
All right,
the
so
worst
it was-
things ever
it
created.
was
They're still
Troll.
out now, man. It's a brand that Hasbro owns that they're
they own
all
Trolls.
deep in. Like there's a movie with Justin.
Yeah, it's the
Timberlake
worst
and-
thing ever created. I don't care that they own it. It's just the worst thing ever
Yeah, I
made.
think Tamagotchi.
I'm trying to think of like any interesting toy innovations. Sorry, I'm thinking Disney stuff. Innovations from like when I was a kid. I know we had some like glow in the dark toys, but that's not a new gimmick. I can't really think of anything. Oh, there was like the kind of like flipping, like the Power Ranger action figures that would have the flipping heads
Flipping up.
and whatnot. That was new, and then I think they did that kind of stuff with the turtles, and they kind of made. I remember having versions of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that you could go into like a turtle form, but then like the Ninja Turtle form, like you
I remember
fold
those,
the parts into the shell and whatnot. So I think that was kind of like borrowing off of Transformers to a certain degree, like
I
that
would
kind of
think
concept.
those Kenner Ghostbusters, when they eventually came out with the next wave that had the fright features back in the day, where you push a button and their eyes poke out or their neck open, those were freaking brilliant. And it's neat that those are hitting the shelves again. And kids, I'm going to say kids, will get to see those for the first time, and I think it'll do okay. Like I don't think it'll just sell to older collectors. I think kids who might see those, although they don't have a button on the back of the package where you can test it to see what it actually does, they have to read and look at the pictures in the back to see it. But it's a cool gimmick from the early 80s.
That would actually be a good idea for a future episode to kind of rank the most important
gimmicks,
innovations or gimmicks
well,
to toys.
The problem with that is we're gonna have this heated argument right in the middle of that when Rick says the most important toy development ever was the 3 3/4-inch Kenner Star Wars figure, because otherwise nobody in the world would ever collect action figures if these didn't exist.
It's true. The world might have even have ended in 1984 if there wasn't for Star Wars figures. I'm sure it would have just disappeared.
Probably.
Holograms on the Supernaturals and Visionaries, that was new tech at the time, right?
Yeah. Mask had great gimmicks. Because think about it. I mean, like at one point, those little rip cords, remember those rip cords? You would put them in and
toys.
Rip it, and then the car would like speed down the road like the evil dude or whatever, right? And then eventually there was like pull the car back and let it go. That's really
that's
cool
a good
right
one.
there.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Well, this was one of my favorite toys as a kid.
You notice all the coolest toys we're talking about were made by Kenner?
Was this Kenner? I don't remember.
$6 million man, you could roll up his sleeve and see like the little computer board. Like, that is so cool, man.
Yeah, Kenner.
Mr. B, he agrees with me. I don't know what I said for him to agree with, but
do you remember the Big Jim figures?
Well, those are still G.I. Joe Hasbro, right?
Let me go grab one.
And then I had this guy.
Eric's got good vintage toys, yeah.
All right.
Where's his little bendy pole?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, lost it. I'm surprised. Like I'm surprised I found this and the Swamp Thing and my Wolverine that I'll grab here in a second. I found it in a bin after my mom moved out of her old house. These were my 3 favorite action figures.
Yeah, he comes with a little bendy pole and a rock.
Yep. Oh yeah, same. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So what's this, like 1992-ish?
Or early 90s. Yeah, that was when I was a kid. Yeah. And this Wolverine was. I remember my grandma took me to the local Toys R Us to get this. It came with a mask.
To the woke Toys R Us.
Local Toys R Us.
It's like, what the heck? When does it become?
Toys R Us is now part of HMV here in Canada. So Toys R Us stores, mine closed. So I have no Toys R Us really close to me. But now half of the store is like DVDs and Blu-rays and records. It's weird.
That's cool.
Yeah,
so like expect them to close.
I think this came with like a sword and a mask, but I lost them, and there's paint issues and whatnot from playing with it.
And these Toy Biz figures are still very affordable. If anyone wants to go back and collect a couple of their favorites, like that carded Mr. T, I think I paid less than $20 for it a couple of years ago.
You guys remember Big Jim, right?
Yeah.
So the arm has this like kind of lifelike skin. That's why it's discolored. But if you,
I was going to say, what's going on? He's got some weird skin condition.
It's Tucker tan.
But look at this. You say there's a button on the back. That's an innovation, right?
Yeah, I do that all the time.
But look at his arm. Ready? See, too bad Dino's not here for this. Ready?
That's brilliant. Look at that. Look at those pythons.
Oh wait, is there a joint in the elbow or?
Yeah, it makes a muscle. Check it out.
Kind of like Barbies did at one time. Yeah, and his bicep actually flexes.
Crazy.
There's a modern toy that does that. I think it's like a Dragon Ball or one of those anime characters, but it's all plastic. There's no soft skin over it, but it's a plastic toy where you bend it and it has articulation, and his bicep goes all geek strong.
Yeah.
That's a great gimmick there, Vern. Right there. That's a good one.
I mean, I don't see it, but you don't see it very often. But I mean, like, they did it at one point.
I think that soft skin is totally toxic and maybe it would kill us all.
Probably.
But it's the same thing that all hot toys.
Get that out and do that, and then
not all hot toys. A lot of the hot toys, that have like lots of flesh showing. They had those seamless, silicone kind of things. It's weird that they didn't incorporate, big biceps into those. What?
Are you ready?
Maybe.
Okay.
I make no guarantees, but okay.
30 seconds.
Does it count for me to leave this space on my...
Actually, you know what? I'll pull up the slide, and then I'll say 30 seconds, and then I'll hit the timer and go, so you have a chance to read the slide before the 30 seconds starts. Okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll do it that way. Okay, so you have 30 seconds to name as many spaceships as you can that are not Star Wars related. Go.
The Nebuchadnezzar, the Enterprise, the Serenity. I'm trying to think of different ships. The Razor Crest, Star Wars. Shoot. The Reliant, Star Trek. The Excelsior.
3, 2,
yeah,
1.
Right, I got what, 6?
Time's up.
All right.
So you got, how many was that? 5, right?
I don't know, 5 or 6.
Okay, so Gary has gotten 5. So you ready, Rick?
No, he does the same thing.
What? No, I told Rick that it was going to be the same question for both, but it's not true.
That would be horrible for me.
What? I can't just repeat all the same ships and add one?
Right. There's 5 automatic.
Change the rules midstream.
Rules.
Right, so Gary has 5. Everybody in the chat, remember that Gary got 5 ships that were not Star Wars related. Rick, your question is, name as many space-related movies as you can. 30 seconds, go.
Spaceballs. Battlestar Galactica, the TV movie. Serenity or Firefly, one of those is a movie. Star Trek 1, Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3, Star Trek 4, Star Trek 5, Star Trek 6, Star Trek 7, Star Trek 8, the new Star Trek movie.
You got 2 so far.
Spaceballs. I think I said
that was your first answer. I could have said Enterprise.
How did I get 2 so far? I got 8 just with Star Trek.
Okay, so hold on. It's Gary got 5, you got 2, and the reason why you got 2 is because Star Trek. It's called Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Star Trek 2 is Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan. Star Trek 3 is The Voyage Home. Star Trek 4 is.
Yes, but I'm limited for 30 seconds in time, sir.
Yeah, but Star Trek 1, Star Trek 2, those are not titles.
Yeah, because I could have Enterprise 1701
Enterprise.
B.
Did he mean the NC 1701 or the 1701D?
No, because it said spaceships names. So
not serial numbers.
Right,
what kind of pride? What do I have to give to Gary today?
5. Hold on.
Respect.
And 2. I'm going to put that in the chat. So it's 5-2.
You can edit. You can edit this part out of the show, right?
Right.
No one knows I'm a loser.
This is your next.
So this is back to me again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
God help me, yeah.
Name as many Marvel superheroes with actual superpowers. Go.
Mr. Fantastic, the Human Torch, Invisible Woman, Cyclops, Marvel. He said Marvel. Oh my God! Isn't that funny how you're looking around my room going, wait a minute. Scarlet Witch, Thor, Captain America has superpowers. Ant-Man doesn't. It's a suit. I'm trying to think of Avengers. The Vision, Beast.
All right, time's up. That was 7.
That's terrible.
All right, so you got 7. So,
So
you
not
have a
suit-
total of
I
12
just
points at
kept
this
thinking of
point.
suit related, or people had gear to help them, and that wasn't
All right.
working.
Rick, you ready? This is your chance to catch up.
You don't give me DC superheroes.
Name as many DC comic superheroes with actual superpowers. Go.
Not Batman, but Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, not Hulk,
Green Arrow.
not Robin.
I'm loving this.
That's what I said. Don't pick DC.
Look at he did what I did, looking at the wall real quick.
Supergirl, Superwoman, Superboy, Superman's dog,
You got to name the dog. I think
Superdog.
Crypto.
All right. You got 5.
That's tough. These aren't the questions you gave me before the show. The study version.
Yeah,
So
I suspected a little
the
foul
score
play.
is 12-7, and there's no need to move into
The final round. Is there a
7.
final
I
round?
got 7 just in super family.
Oh my god. Okay.
Good job, Gary. You just
That's
proved
fun, man.
you were
Pulled it out of my
smarter
ass.
On the spot.
than Rick by double.
On the
I'd like to
spot,
thank the
man.
Academy for making this possible. I'd like to thank my producers, my agent. I'd like to thank Vern for the invite. And
Give that man an award.
I thought I did horribly, but in hindsight,
We
know what's
talked
so
about it
funny?
before. We had
Like-
to make you look good.
thanks. Well, that's tough to do with
It
this
is.
mug.
We'll have to
It's
think
easier
of,
when it's me on the other end, though.
We'll have to come up with what the prize is.
That's cool. I recommend we do this every week.
All right. What does this make everybody happy now?
So the guy and the girl are going to morph together. I see them as one.
I think she gets her powers from him.
It doesn't really matter to me as long as the thing is in it and it takes place in the 50s.
Yeah.
I'm
He
just
says
looking
clobbering
forward
time.
to
That
seeing
way I
her.
can prove Vernon wrong.
About
He's got
what?
to say clobbering time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got Silver Scratch here.
Oh, Silver Scratch. He's asking about Rebel Moon. We were talking about that. I watched 37 minutes of it and fast forwarded through the rest. Oh, we were talking about that before we started.
Because the middle is just a big slow motion action scene, right? It takes
Yeah,
3.5 hours.
We'll get to that. Hold on. We'll get to that. Second set of news is if you're watching Fallout, they decided that because there's resurgence in the game, they're going to add the ability to make the characters from the TV show for your Fallout 76 gameplay.
Cool.
It's cool that they do this kind of thing with the games, the modern games. That you can add characters or skins, whatever they call it,
Yeah.
to existing games that you already own. I guess you have to buy them somehow, but I mean, at least it's instead of making a new game and selling it for $70 US or whatever they sell for now.
The cool thing about this is they actually, what I didn't clip was they gave you all the characters, like their powers or abilities or whatever, what you get when you make one of these characters. Did everybody watch Fallout?
They do cost money, right?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet. I mean, I will, but not yet.
It was
Anybody?
okay. I wasn't blown away by it. It was mildly entertaining, and
The trailer didn't blow me away.
No.
yeah,
It
I
was
did watch Ark. I liked Ark, the dinosaur one.
the first episode was a little bit because there was that really bloody, gory kind of like fight scene in the first one or whatever. But like it caught on. Like it caught on for me. Like the first episode was okay. I know they had to introduce it. I never played the game or anything like that. So after we get through that first episode, I ended up really liking it. And I
Have you
wish,
finished it?
yeah, I finished it. I wish though that I had maybe watched like 2 episodes a week.
Okay.
I
Yeah, I've
just-
heard that's one
that's just
complaint
cool as
people have
well,
had
yeah.
is they wanted it week by week, but that's
Yeah.
a weird thing to complain about. That means you can control your viewing.
Yeah,
Like-
I wish I would have been more like I'm going to wait till next week to watch those next 2 episodes or something instead of the next day. You know what I mean? Like, because now I'm like wishing like, oh, I wish that I had a couple more episodes to watch, but it's over. And I'm like, oh, well, it would have given me more time to think about the episodes that I did see.
But I get it. Like that's why I enjoyed Andor, partially because it was a weekly thing, and I looked forward to the upcoming show. And same with the Shogun now. Like I'm excited the day I can watch it. I watch it, it's as soon as I can because I'm not going to get spoiled, but I mean, I'm interested in it, and then I got to wait another week for the next episode because they always have a little bit of a cliffhanger or something going on. But so I do like the week to week stuff, and I don't think I could control myself if it was all at once. You'd waste your whole Saturday or whatever watching the whole series. But I don't know. I prefer the week by week.
Yeah, I wish it would have, but I did like the show. I did like all the characters, and I like the way it played out. And from what I understand, because I never played the game, the show actually gives you some additional backstory you didn't get from the game.
Like if you dropped all 52 episodes, 224 of the Toy Duo team at once, would people watch all 122 hours of it?
Yeah, probably. And
I'm gonna binge it.
Look, I got my Pip-Boy on my Apple Watch. That's kind of cool.
How cool is that?
Nerd credit.
Bonus point.
All right. Anyways, then I pulled up these little highlights. You got Rick's looking forward to Sasquatch Sunset, which many people just
Wait, they're walking out of it because it's so gross? Jeez.
Yeah, they were saying, the article was saying something, or what I was hearing, I don't think it was this article. They were saying that they spend a lot of time about like
Having sex?
no, body examination or something like that. It was the way they put it, they're discovering how their body works or something like that. But they spend
I think it looks hilarious.
a lot of time.
I do that. I do that.
They're grooming.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, that Jesse Eisenberg said this was his labor of love. So I'm like, this guy's sorry.
Yeah,
Anyways.
Jonathan, I agree with that too. Like people aren't talking about it for 6 and 7, 8 weeks. They're talking about it for like a week, and then it's old news. Like the Fallout, it's had some talk over the past week or so, but
it's going to be gone.
Talk about it in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I didn't see anyone talk about Fallout.
That's
like
why,
if they were to drop some more merchandise or toys, like it wouldn't be as in demand a month from now.
Like McFarlane dropped those movie maniacs for the Fallout.
Yeah, but he dropped them well before. Like he dropped them a month ago.
Out, so you can't get them. Anyways,
well, I think they're still pre-orderable. I don't think they
not on their website. And then Amazon says unavailable. Click here for alternate whatever. And I think they're just overpriced now. The second one here is Christian Bale is going to apparently play Frankenstein in a movie called The Bride.
I thought that Frankenstein was like all like big and monstrous, not just thin and little.
Well, I think what he's captured here in Frankenstein is the voice. I'm Frankenstein.
Oh yeah,
I can see it. The picture looks cool.
Frankenstein.
No, I'm Frankenstein's monster, not Frankenstein.
Correct.
Well, whatever he says. Maybe he'll say, if he says it, it's going to be hilarious.
Damsel flashing its way to most watched films ever. Really?
Yeah, I guess that's part of his licensing deal, Jonathan. Like,
is that on right now?
With his movie Maniacs, they're like 6-inch statues, like these Fallout figures and the Rocky ones, and now the Dude and a couple other like
the 40-year-old
version guy, which would have been great if they flocked that hair as opposed to painted
that would have been
on.
hilarious. Yeah,
so
the hair that wasn't pulled off. Yeah,
that would be a great custom.
All right, and then the last. Oh, go ahead.
The Music Maniacs. So far, he's got Alice Cooper and Ozzy Osbourne. They're posable 6-inch action figures.
Which makes no sense to me whatsoever. But
no,
whatever.
So he's got 38 different scales and styles now.
The dude's he's gonna. You know what I realize is like he makes probably $10,000-$15,000 of each thing, and then they're like, if we basically sell out of one of them, we're good. It'll pay for the rest.
Question for you, Vern. Do you see McFarlane's at like Ollie's and Ross?
Some of the multiverse stuff.
Some of it or lots of it? Because when I see like videos, I see
like 2 or 3.
Hundreds and hundreds of Marvel Legends and Turtles.
No, what you see are like hundreds and hundreds of the same Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
Okay? Like or
I don't see
the
hundreds
same
in any of my stores. I see like 5 at each store I go to.
Well, recent videos from Rebels, Reptiles, and Games Ed, he went to like Ollie's and Ross, and they had like an aisle of just Marvel Legends, like 8 up to the ceiling, like
But that's
steel
Ollie's.
cases
Ollie's.
and.
Oh,
But-
that might be
or
Ollie.
Ollie's.
I'm going to go
But
to
what-
Ollie's tomorrow. Yeah, I'll let
That's
you know.
a
I'm
lot.
going to Ollie's tomorrow.
But the
That's
the
more than
thing
like
is,
all retailers in Canada.
hold on, Rick. What you got to pay attention to is what were those Marvel Legends? They're all Eternals figures at Ollie's.
They
Yeah,
probably are, yeah.
Yeah, like not one person ever bought one Eternals figure.
Eternals and mine has the X-Men still. That one.
Yeah.
And
the
I
one-
see like your boys' toy aisles from a lot of everyone's toy hunts too. Dino's and you, Vern. You guys have a lot of Ninja Turtle toys, like
Oh,
like
yeah.
100
I haven't seen
different
that many. It's like
SKU.
I could never put together like a complete set.
Mod extras, right?
So many like children's, and then
Yeah.
redos of the Playmates, and then other movie ones. Like there's so many different ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Shang-Chi
And it's
figures, it seemed like there was
40.
one or two that are sought after, and the rest of them are just available. Like nobody wanted that Target exclusive one, right? With Aquafina, except for me. Anyways, the last one that I pulled up was Damsel. It's apparently slashing its way into Netflix most watched films list.
Is that
ever.
that's on right now?
That is out right now. Have you guys seen it?
No,
I
didn't
did.
know
It was
out
okay.
yet.
Yeah, it was all right.
It's
When
about
did it come out?
it's like a month
A few
ago.
weeks ago. Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's about a girl who like she's like the princess in a town where they're running out of stuff. It's really cold. She gets promised off to some prince, and they're going to take care of the family, and the next thing you know, they made some deal with a dragon that they have to sacrifice royal blood, like 3 people every year or something like that. So they're
Oh
constant.
wait, is that the one where they try to throw her down in a pit after she gets married?
Yeah,
Yes.
they do.
Yeah, I
They
did
do.
see that
Yeah,
one.
they
Yeah,
do.
I did see that.
Yeah, it's,
Apparently it's because it's the only thing on Netflix worth watching.
it's kind of like Lord of the Rings and Willow combined, but more like Willow because it's kind of supposed to be a little funny, I think. But it was a good watch once.
So Eric
Eric might need to sit this
versus John
What's
in the new game called Name It in 30 seconds. Let me get my
Okay.
timer.
I'm unaware of what
Eric
What
gets
are
to
we
go
doing?
first.
Okay, Eric goes
It's
first.
easy if you know the answers.
All right, Eric. What's going to come up on the screen is going to be a challenge, and I'll read it to you. It'll be like name as many as you can in 30 seconds type of thing.
All
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Like,
And
save as many
then
times.
I'll turn on my timer, and you have 30 seconds, and everybody else besides John will keep count, and we'll decide which ones of your answers would be disqualified and which ones won't, because we disqualified a bunch of Ricks a couple of weeks ago.
So he'll tell you the rules after you're done.
Try to
Eric.
do like
Yeah,
Star
yeah.
Trek 1, Star Trek 2, Star Trek, but that's not
Okay.
titles.
Oh,
of the
so
show.
they get rules beforehand. I see.
Well, that was the first
He
time.
invented the
Rick. That was
rules
the first
after
time.
I played the
Okay.
game.
And truthfully, Rick says he knows everything, so he should have known the rules before we got started.
And the game was named after me originally too.
It
So
was.
I'm protesting this game.
All right, so let me
I missed a few weeks, so sorry.
timer.
Protest.
30 seconds. Name it in 30 seconds. You can see I put loaded 30 seconds on there.
Yeah.
And then you guys ready? All right, Eric's going first. Name as many TV shows featuring an iconic vehicle. Go.
Flintstones, the Knight Rider, A-Team, vehicle. X-Men with the Blackbird, I guess. Oh, iconic vehicle in TV. I don't know. Just end it.
Get one more in. One more.
Yeah.
Okay, time's up.
I think you got 4.
4.
4. Which ones did he forget?
Well, you could have
And
named
Starsky and
Airwolf.
Hutch, maybe.
Yeah, you
Robert
could have named
Miles.
Starsky and Hutch,
Blue
Airwolf,
Thunder.
Blue
Yeah,
Thunder.
Airwolf, Knight
Thunder.
Knight Rider,
Beachcombers.
Grease Rock,
He said.
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah.
The real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Chips.
Look, Gary, we could have given
Chips.
you the answers, Rick, and it still wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
The most obvious, Rockford Files.
Yep, there you go. Rockford Files, Fall Guy, Riptide.
Starsky and Hutch.
I think
Fall
even
Guy had
Simon
his
and
truck,
Simon
yeah,
had that
that's
big
right.
These were shows from the
right?
40s and 50s, Vern.
Yeah.
You know, he could have went really crazy with Knight Rider 2000, Knight Rider, Knight Rider.
Transformers.
Oh, look at that, Brian. Emergency Squad 51. All right.
Fall Guy. Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, John, you ready?
Okay,
All right.
I'm not going to get any of these.
Name as many buddy cop shows as you can.
Okay. I guess Starsky and Hutch, Dragnet, buddy cop shows like TV show. Yeah, was there?
That is a tough one.
Yeah, was there more buddy cop shows? Reno 911. What's that? What's that show? With the yeah, I don't know. I don't know this one.
That's tough.
Ah.
I think I had it easier. That.
Well, I don't know. Think about buddy cop shows. I mean, you're like, oh, look, Hardcastle and McCormick. I guess somebody would say, well, they're not really cops. Batman 66. Somebody's saying
Batman.
Thunder in Paradise, right? You got
buddies.
Chips.
Chips.
You
Steven said Chips earlier.
Sure you were going to say Adam 12.
Yeah, I could have said Adam 12. Yeah.
I can't think of much more off the top of my head.
21 Jump Street.
Yeah, SWAT.
Cagney and Lacey.
Cop show.
Yeah,
Any cop
Cagney
show
and
is about.
Lacey.
Simon and Simon. Yeah, that was a good one.
Simon and Simon. Yeah.
Simon and Simon. Yeah.
Maybe it should have been Detective.
Scooby Doo.
Yeah. All right, you ready? You ready,
All
Eric?
right,
You're
had it there.
leading 4-2.
Oh, there more rounds?
More, Eric.
Round 2. Ready? All right. Name as many movies featuring John Travolta as you can. Go.
Saturday Night Fever, Face Off, what Punisher, one of the Punisher movies. That was John Travolta. There's like a Christmas movie I remember. I can't. I honestly I'm thinking what the hell is he actually in?
Oh, would you look who's talking?
Wow.
What was his first movie?
He got 3. Pulp Fiction and what's that space movie?
Oh my god!
The alien
Battlefield
movie.
Earth.
Oh my god! Grease and yeah.
Grease.
Saturday Night
Was he in
Fever.
Grease? Yes.
I got Saturday Night Fever.
He did
Connor said, "Look
Oh, did
who's
he?
talking."
I counted 3.
I was trying to make it sound like an insult, but give him a hint at the same
He
time.
was in that freaking what was the alien movie that everybody saw? Not saw.
Battlefield Earth.
Spaceships.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed I didn't name Pulp Fiction. But, yeah,
Yeah. Pulp Fiction.
I'm at it. Okay.
All right.
The last
Pressure's
30
on.
movies. The last 30 movies he's made, nobody's watched. Battlefield Earth, that's one of them, right?
Was it
Yeah.
Battlefield Earth?
Yeah.
Is that the one
Or
with
Battlefield.
Where he
they
wears
made
the
it
kilt.
into
Well,
He was
technically
there.
that's a
Hang on.
documentary, but,
video game with
don't
the
get into that.
cats, the cat aliens.
Well, that's where they're trying to get the gold out of the Fort Knox or something, right?
There was what was it like the
He was in
Hogs,
Galactica?
Wild Hogs. He was in. Yeah.
Oh, Wild Hogs.
Was John Travolta in Galactica?
No.
I don't remember that one.
All right, John, you ready?
Welcome Back,
all
Clara.
right,
That's
I
not
gotta
a movie, though.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Name as many movies featuring Nick Cage as you can.
What
Oh, this is a bit easier.
He was in Ghost Rider. He was in Raising Arizona, I think. He was in that 23 movie. Was it called 23? Is it just called 23? He was in that
20.
3, 2.
This
one.
one's a bit easier. I wish I had this one. Yeah.
He was
counted
also
2.
in Face Off.
Face Off. Was he in Face Off also?
48 hours.
Not
Another
forgetting the
48
cinematic
hours.
Classic, that is Con
48
Air.
hours, part 3.
Kind of. Yeah.
in 48
Like
Hours?
The Rock.
I think
The
so.
The Rock, yeah.
I thought that was Eddie Murphy.
Valley Girl.
But the white guy, it was Trading Places. Sorry, that's
The Weatherman.
Oh
was in
yeah,
Trading
National
Places, right?
Yeah,
National
National
Treasure.
Treasure.
National Treasure. Yeah.
National
I don't
Treasure.
know if you guys remember, but there was a stage, and it must have been for about a year
He
and a
was in
half.
Snake
yeah,
Eyes.
Snake
Every
Eyes.
time
Ren-
you rented
Renfield.
a video,
Renfield.
When
there
was
was a
he in
trailer for
Snake Eyes? I don't
Raising
remember him
Arizona on
being
it.
in a
Oh,
G.I.
Snake
Joe
Eyes.
movie.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh my
Yep.
God. How did
Yep.
I miss that one?
I don't remember him
really
being
either.
in that movie at all.
There was that movie with Pedro Pascal. A recent
was
movie.
he in
I
a
can't
movie?
He was
remember
in
the
a
name of
Marvel
it.
movie
Treasure,
too, wasn't he?
He was
Not-
going to be. He was going to
Not
be
Daredevil,
Superman.
but or not Deadpool.
He was
What-
going to be Superman. Remember?
Would you get half
Yeah.
a point for Superman?
No.
He was in the Flash. He was actually Superman in the Flash. So that
Yeah.
He was in some
Oh
other
yeah,
superhero
not
movie
the.
as like his
I see. Not the
like
not the
mechanic
GI
or
Joe
something.
Snake Eyes. It was the other.
Used to be.
Yeah, not the GI Joe Snake Eyes. It was
Yeah.
that other Snake Eyes movie. Okay, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
So we're
Sunny,
done.
8
So-
So 8mm.
Vegas,
Yeah, I think-
leaving Las Vegas.
I think Eric won, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did by 1 point. Anyway,
Oh no,
and
not
tell
this.
you that in another episode of Our Movies Going Overboard,
Nah.
they released this picture of Superman earlier in the week, and who was wondering, does he show no sense of urgency with what's going on outside that window?
Nope. He's
Well,
look
you
how
don't
fast
know.
his suit is.
This is only one moment in time. He could be doing this at super speed.
I don't know about that. It looks pretty casual. I feel like he's going for a cup of coffee next.
Yeah, he doesn't. He just looks like he's getting ready for work.
I think he's just getting older and he has to sit down to put his shoes on
No,
now.
they've replaced him with a young guy. He's a younger
It's a
guy
younger
now.
Superman.
There's no old dude
What's
there.
cool about this photo when James Gunn had it posted is there's no AI in this photo. Like there's no CGI
Right,
or
that,
like
that little
Really?
giant eye is
So
that-
actually shooting a laser on the city.
Yes,
that
so
they're
that's a
filming.
real
No, that's
giant
like a-
eye shooting a laser.
that's stagecraft thing. So there's really an image behind him. It's a fake image, but it's a real image.
Okay.
Oh,
But
okay,
that's
so
what I mean.
it's a
So you
real
get that
fake
lighting,
image.
right? Like the reflection on the wall behind him.
Sure,
and
sure.
that
Okay.
little lighting on the side of his face. Like I'm a huge.
He is
James
wearing
Gunn
red shorts,
fan.
by the way.
Huge James
What?
Gunn fan. He's doing
Yeah,
it right.
I lightened the picture up, and you can definitely tell that he's got the red under.
He does got the red banana hammocks on. Yeah.
What is the purple laser beam?
It looks like
We'll
that
find out
giant
next
eye,
year.
whatever that giant eye is.
Yeah, but like what villain in DC had a
Star-
giant
a
eyeball?
star,
eyeball?
the little
I
star.
heard Brainiac is going to be a villain in this.
Oh, is this a Brainiac?
Whoever the
Like,
villain is, I bet you it's James Gunn's brother.
it's a blaster. It's a Brainiac blaster. That could make sense.
That
yeah.
might be the Phantom Zone.
Maybe it's a
What the
fireworks.
hell? How could the Phantom Zone be turning into a giant purple eyeball?
I don't know, but we're all going to crap our pants when Deadpool shows up.
Oh
So
yeah,
wait,
that'd
wait,
be
wait.
cool.
Les Lower in the back, Lexus Towers in the background is discount
yes.
Superman at Payless trying on boots. I did do a image of him at the Foot Locker. Is that Superman from Wish? Is he just trying to get a pebble out of his boot? He might be trying to get something out of a shoe.
Oh, he just finished banging Wonder Woman and he's leaving.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I have to. When I was younger, I just put my shoes on wherever I was, but now I kind of like to
Doesn't
sit down.
Superman have his boots like underneath his like Clark Kent shoes?
No, they're boots. He
'Cause he
tucks
just
his
goes in the
pants
phone
into his
booth.
boots, like
But
any
when in that phone booth
respecting-
does he like sit down and put red
superhero.
boots on?
No, you don't wear your pants on the outside of your boots.
You're not hearing my question though. Like it's Superman as we know him, comic book, 80s,
Okay.
Christopher Reeves. Where does he keep his boots?
That is true. His boots just
He leaves
magically
that-
He
appear.
he's
comes
got,
out
like-
of the phone booth and
No,
boom,
he's got a
red
bunch of
boots on.
boots all over the place and a bunch of phone boots all over.
Yeah,
the place.
that's
Yeah,
Tom Green does that with liquor.
Well, you
hidden
remember
boot-
Iron Man, right? Iron Man didn't used to have like all that nanotechnology. He had like that soft armor that he carried around in the briefcase.
yeah.
Yeah, that was-
And I always wondered too, does Superman tuck his cape down his pants? Like, how does he keep that long
Well, we
cape?
know he tucks his pants in his boots now.
But you know that Superman is secretly a magician.
Sure.
Okay. Anyways, what else do we know about Superman? Did you know that Supergirl is rumored to be in the Superman movie and is played by Millie Alcock, who's in House of Dragons?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's that person.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you got so of course Lois
confirmed.
Lane's going to be in it. And then did you
Yeah, she
also
could
know that
She could do Supergirl.
Hawk Girl and Guy Gardner version of Green Lantern are supposed to be in the Superman movie?
Nathan Fillion is Guy Gardner. That'll
Yeah.
be interesting. That'll be interesting.
Huh.
Another guy will be in every James Gunn movie forever, which is cool. I'm okay with that.
Name as many members of the Avengers as you can.
Oh my God. Iron Man, Captain America, Scarlet Witch. Which Avengers does it matter? Or the MCU? Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Hulk, Vision, Scarlet. Did I ever say Scarlet Witch? Black Widow. Yeah.
Oh, time's up.
All right, he got 8.
Okay, 8.
Good start. Good show.
All right.
Good show.
Okay, did you miss any though?
I missed a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
Now that you don't have the time pressure, is it like, are they just flowing
Well,
in now?
He
Black
missed Thor.
Panther.
He didn't say Thor. And did he say Captain America?
Now you're
Yeah, I
going to tell me to name all the Batmans.
I was hesitating because I was thinking like MCU comic book. Which one
Yeah.
do I do? Do I do
Look
both?
at-
Yeah.
Look at Sonny. He said you didn't mention John Steed or Emma Peel.
What the hell?
The
Who?
Avengers from the.
Yeah.
All right.
From the old TV show.
Oh,
the
wow.
old TV show.
All right. Rick, are you ready? You
Yeah,
got
he
30
could have
seconds?
pulled that out of his butt. He could have said, I meant the old TV show. You got
Siri.
0.
Right.
You know, like
Alexa, please help.
I wouldn't do that. All
AI,
right.
all
ready?
AIs, please help.
so 8. He's got 8. Deanna has 8.
8.
8.
Name as many members of the Justice League of America as you can.
Batman, Robin, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Superdog, Supergirl, Superwoman, Superboy, Tim Drake, Nightwing, Green Arrow, Darkseid, Darkseid. I'll stop there because I think that's 11.
I think he got 11, yeah.
That's enough to
No,
win.
hold on.
Right?
Well,
I can't think of more. I'm not a
Hold on.
DC super fan.
Okay, so time's up. Was the Superboy really ever a member of the Justice League of America?
I guess
what is
technically,
Yeah,
Justice
no,
League America?
no.
Is that a
Darkseid-
comic book series?
and
Darkseid is a
Darkseid,
villain, not a member of the
Darkseid
Justice
was the
League of
villain, so-
America.
I think you could go all the way down to 9 if you wanted
Wasn't
to.
Justice
because
League of America like
because-
a 1,000 comic book run?
Superboy technically was in the Legion of Superheroes,
Thank
which
you.
was in the
And-
future.
And Supergirl.
Yes, she was in Justice League. Because you got to remember, Justice League of America Unlimited had almost every hero that was in the current time frame.
Okay,
And all
but-
those ones you're trying to not count, they were in Justice League of Canada. So they
Yeah, that's what they're counting because it says
You're being
the Justice
prejudiced.
League of America and not
You're
the
being
Justice
prejudiced against
Society,
Canucks.
That's
and not the Justice Society. But I didn't hear like the Flash or anything like that. So
Yeah,
you
I think you
the
could.
Flash.
I think you could technically give him 9, but
Okay.
or maybe 10 if you really stretch Superboy.
I think
Because
it's
Wolverine
I
and
think it's
Deadpool are
9 'cause that
Canadian.
was.
But
pretty-
Darkseid is definitely a bad guy. He's not the. He
Some of
wasn't
those
in
were
the
just
Justice.
And I
not in the
named them
Justice
both
League of
ways, so
America.
I couldn't get it wrong.
Yeah,
Um,
Justice League of Vancouver.
It was. We're not talking about the Justice League comics that you bought from Kmart.
Justice League
Rest
of
in peace,
Kmart.
All right, Dan, are you ready?
I think so.
All right. Oh, look, Gary is saying he was in the Legion of Superheroes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the Legion, which is the
Alright.
ones in the future.
All right,
Yeah.
ready? Here is your list. Name as many Kenner Star Wars action figures as you can. Specify the outfit.
Oh, come on. You got my Achilles heel, man. I don't know any of the
What?
well, not I don't know the specific names, so I mean Luke Skywalker, R2D2, C3PO, Gamorrean Guard. I couldn't tell you the outfits though, man. I don't know.
No,
if
you
there's
got.
any-
That's okay. You still got 4. Those were technically figures.
Yeah.
All right.
I know there was
They-
Ewok, but I don't
time's
know
up.
which.
They didn't name the outfits until Empire Strikes Back when they started duplicating the heroes. So
Yeah.
You mean like investment fatigues?
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Bracket and bracket?
All right.
So he's got 12 now. He's up to
I
12.
feel
Now
like
you're going to give me like all the Barbie ones or die
maybe,
cast.
Yeah,
ones.
exactly,
maybe not
right.
even related. All right. So
Maybe
that,
many Hot
that
Wheels
brings you
cars.
up to
12. He's at
12.
12.
Okay. Ready, Rick? Retro Rick?
Well, I got a new question, don't I?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
do. Ready?
Well,
Name as many Hasbro G.I. Joe characters as you can.
Roadblock, Duke, Scarlet, Spirit and Iron Knife, Cobra Commander, Destro, the tank driver, the helicopter pilot, Doc, all the dreadnoughts, Zartan's sister, the helicopter pilot, Yeehaw, whatever his name is.
Yeehaw! Wild Bill! He got
Snowdrop.
got-
I got him in Snowdrop.
that was after the beef.
I counted 6 because there's no way
Well-
all the dreadnoughts counts for any.
That's like 8.
I think he got 7 actually.
Gang.
Yeah.
And then you said, and then I was almost going to take away for what Destro and Cobra Commander because they're Cobra.
And they're part of the G.I. Joe characters.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see
then
what
I
you're
thought about
saying.
it.
Yeah. No.
Did you get Snowdrop though?
I think he got 7, but
All right.
so
But that's a tough one on the
All right,
spot.
Dan.
Like
I think
Yeah,
that means I think it means Rick won. Yeah.
and if you put Kenner up for me, I probably would have like got 12 and
Oh,
gone dry or something.
You guys want to know what the tiebreaker would have been? Or do you
Sure.
want to do it and just see if you can just name off as many as you can?
sure.
I'm down.
Okay, sure. What is it?
Either
All right,
way, I'll
hold
be
on.
interested to hear.
All right. Ready? It was name as many movie remakes as you can.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, that man, without thinking, it's tough, man.
Remakes.
Remakes.
Batman, Spider-Man,
Spider-Man. You can say it twice. Spider-Man.
Yeah, you could do that.
Batman.
day long.
Batman.
because they've been remade with new actors. But yeah, that's tough, man. The Fall Guy was a TV show, so not that.
Yeah, movie. Yeah, I'm
A-Team
trying to
was a
think.
TV show, so not that. It's tough.
They've
All
redid
Disney things,
Dune,
all things Disney.
Dune.
Lion King,
Dune, Lion King. Yes.
Tron.
Little Mermaid.
Wait, Tron was not a remake.
Actually, it was a reboot.
No, it wasn't a remake.
I guess it wasn't because it showed
It was
the
a
same actor as an
continuation.
adult, right?
It was
Yeah.
a continuation. But I
A
might say something
a
like,
CG version of the actor.
yeah, I might say
Ghostbusters
like
with the girls. Does that count as a
Star is
reboot?
Born, definitely like remake, right?
Lake Placid.
That's a remake.
Roadhouse. There's one. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
Roadhouse.
good handful,
Oh.
but yeah, on the spot.
Oh yeah. RoboCop had a remake.
Yeah, RoboCop was
yeah.
remade. That's
The
true.
fifth. What's the one with Arnold with the Mars planet there? Total Recall.
Oh, yeah,
Total
Total
Recall,
Oh
Recall.
yeah, that was remade. Yeah. The 18 was based on a TV show.
Yeah, I was gonna say Starsky and Hutch and all those, but those were
Dune?
TV shows.
Dune
TV
was a
show,
remake.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
said
Dune, yeah.
Dune earlier. Yeah, I said Dune earlier. Yeah, The Crow's been redone.
Entertainment news. HBO or whoever that company is.
Hercules. Yeah, Hercules has been redone
Shogun.
17 times.
So it looks
Flash-
like there will be more Shogun in the future.
Tarzan,
Flash of the Titans.
Planet of the Apes,
Planet of the Apes.
I watched
Conquest
the
of the
new
Planet of the Apes,
man.
Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Together strong. I love that franchise. That's great.
I don't think those are remakes though, because
Yeah.
they're like all those Planet of the Apes movies are all unique.
They're
No,
all
but
quite
they're,
original.
they're
You're right.
all remakes from the original movies.
No, because those 3 that they did
Marky
were
Mark
actually
was
like
a remake.
prequels. Yeah, they were prequels to the
No,
60s
but
one.
okay, so that Planet of
Marky
the Apes.
Mark one was a remake from
But
the
later
original.
on-
Heston was in the Planet of the Apes movie where he travels back and he
Yes.
gets captured by the apes. So
Mark
that was
Wahlberg?
actually a So the Planet of the Apes movies are kind of like a remake of that whole series because if you watch that Charlton Heston one, it does go back. Caesar goes back. They have a kid. That kid learns to speak. They hide him out in like the zoo or whatever. then when he learns to talk, he rises up the apes,
Yeah,
and then
Marky
basically,
Mark was Charlton Heston's character, I believe, in that.
yeah,
in
and that was a
But-
remake.
But what he's saying is, like, the original Planet of the Apes from like 77 or 78 or whatever year that came out had a bunch of sequels back in the day that went all the way into the mid 80s. And by the time you get into the mid 80s, those mid 80s ones are actually prequels to the original Planet of the Apes, showing how the apes rose and how
Right.
humanity fell.
So the remake,
So
the new,
technically,
modern
these
one,
new movies are remakes of the later Planet
so
of the Apes movies.
so like the James Franco one where he creates the chemical that makes the ape smart is kind of a remake of the one where the apes come back from the future and then their kid can just talk and gets raised by Ricardo Montalban.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I've recently rewatched, like over the past 3 weeks, all the modern Apes movies in preparation for this
Me
new
too.
one.
Yeah, me
And
too. I
what's
like them.
crazy is it's not what you think. Like, I'm not, without spoiling it, it's a good movie. I'm a huge fan of this franchise, but it's not what you think. Like, even from the trailers, they say characters' names and stuff, and it's still not what you think. And I think I look forward to more of these movies in the futures. Maybe they'll have, without a big spoiler, maybe there'll be a planet of like the Eagles in the future. You know? It's a good
That would
one.
actually be a really good film. How
How
about a guy who wants to be a superhero and he wants to build a costume and become a flying superhero based on a bird that's about to become extinct, and
Chicken
he fights
Hawk Man?
crime in California.
Chicken Hawk Man by Looney Tunes.
Condor Man.
The Condor, yeah.
Dodo Bird.
That's a Michael Keaton one. That was a good movie.
I'm going to pull up some of the Legends of the Hidden Force.
Yeah.
Just so we can see them. Let me throw us up on top.
Sure.
So this was your Kickstarter campaign that you guys just completed.
Yeah.
So the pre-orders are closed on these?
Nope, they're still open. So when we approached Big Bad Toy Store, they said that they were very interested, but they wanted to see how everything went with our Kickstarter. So when we ran the Kickstarter and then backer kit after that for a little bit just to see, and of course we funded enough to do the first 12 figures. And then Big Bad Toy Store came in and very generously made some pretty big commitments to us, and that allowed us to be able to do a couple more figures. It just sort of gave us more working capital to do. So so right now, and in return, we said to Big Bad Toy Store that we would turn off our stores, our every other way of picking up the figures for now.
Oh, okay, so they're all available on Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah, they're still available for pre-order for about another couple of weeks, and then
okay, cool.
Excuse me.
I was just checking while he was talking. There's actually one that's one of the accessory packs is already sold out for them.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so the other person that's carrying, or the other people that are carrying our stuff, is Cotswold, and I don't believe that they're sold out yet from their allotment or the amount that they pre-purchased from us.
Good call. But everything else is available on BBT.
Yeah.
So I see this says, well, without my glasses, it looks like Masters of the Hidden Force.
That's right.
And then you got the Secrets of the Hidden Force.
Yeah.
And then this is the
Champions
of the Hidden Force.
Yeah.
So tell us about the Hidden Force.
People are going to freak out about that Eagle Force picture you just showed because
I know
nobody's seen that yet. But okay. So the first, if you want to go even further back one. Okay. So the story is at first, or at face value, it's about a flower that grows in this somewhat mystical city of Harai in Japan. And these three clans have grown up generationally knowing that this flower is absolutely desirable to everybody outside of the world or outside of the gates, because ingesting the flower in various forms gives you various abilities, whether it gives you stronger or like more strength or faster reflexes or the ability to see further or have a sixth sense. Depending on how you take the flower, it gives you powers. And so they know that, and they know that they need to protect it, but they're still fighting over it inside those walls. So there's the three clans. There's the Sabo clan, which is Shinobi there, the first one in blue. He's sort of the heir apparent to that clan. And then there's another clan called Aka, which is sort of our bad guys clan, and then there's Seichi, who are somewhat they're all animal based, and they're somewhat benevolent and undecided. But it becomes a bit of a war internally, and Shinobi and his friends leave because they feel like they're not being told the whole story. So they leave the walls to find out more. And that's sort of where the story starts. But yeah, the characters, the figures themselves, we designed them so that they integrate very easily into your 3 3/4 inch action figure collections. So not only do they hold most of the same proportions, and we actually use the same color guides that a lot of old toy lines use, so you'd actually be able to pair colors. But also we were like, well, what if people don't like our mythology? What if people don't, they just look at them and face value, they're like, neat, ninjas, I don't care about their story, I'm going to use them in mine. So we made sure, so we made sure that the toys sort of stood on their own, where, you know, like Shinobi is absolutely intentionally colored Cobra Blue, you know, is as his base, and like Tarashi is a Tiger Force ninja if you want him to be, you know, and Kusa he's, you know, a camouflage ninja that kind of represents or looks a bit like Stalker if you wanted him to be, you know. And like that was sort of the rationale behind every figure we made. We're like, this figure has to stand alone. Some kid, like, this is the only figure that they're gonna like. Let's make sure, you know, it stands out. So yeah, that's sort of where we're at. Yeah.
All right. And then you got
the Masters of the Hidden Force. So this one hasn't come out yet, this series.
Okay.
We had originally solicited them, but we just couldn't do it. So they're coming out next. There won't be a Kickstarter. This will just be after we deliver on the Kickstarter items. This is going to be, we're just going to be developing these next. And so each one of them is one of the masters in this, you know, or sort of a masterful person, like at the height of their game in the city of Harai. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why I want is that Senshi there? Tori?
Oh, Sensei Tori.
Yeah, Sensei Tori. Just with different heads so that I can assemble my Cobra Kai team.
Yeah. That was definitely intention. Actually, even it's funny because ever since we did this, we switched his legs, his lower legs, and so now he doesn't have the ninja boot. He has bare feet. So
that's nice. Yeah.
Even fitting that sort of homage further. So yeah.
Yeah.
I know that traditionally with O-ring style figures, you know, there's not removable heads and limbs. Does your line offer any you know, swappable parts?
Yeah, absolutely. So we added the double jointed heads. So we have the pop and swap heads.
Okay, great.
So you can use modern figure, like say modern GI Joes. You can swap their heads onto here, but in addition to our wrists are swivel. So all the wrists, you can just pop the wrists, like the hands out, like a lot of modern figures, and swap them out.
Very cool. Then I want to ask, are you using soft goods on there, or are those all vinyl, like capes and stuff?
Yeah, we're using both. So the Hebi-G and Hoji both have vinyl capes, and Shujin and Master Nei both have soft goods. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got this Secrets.
Yeah, so Secrets of the Hidden Force is just that out of every one of them, again, there's sort of like the running theme is you'll get to meet these characters, but each one of them has a secret that's revealed of, you know, and of different stages or different levels of importance, but each one is harboring a secret that they're not necessarily what you think they are.
Okay.
I like the telepathic ape.
Yeah, Satori. Yeah. Satori is there's actually it's not something we invented. There's a myth in Japan of Satori, the telepathic ape. Yeah. And so this guy patterns himself after that. He sees him as something to try to attain to be. He doesn't think he's Satori. He just goes by the name and follows that path. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Minami, the first guy?
Yeah. Minami.
Like, is he have like is that a mask, or is that like his actual? Yeah,
that's his mask. Yeah, he's sort of our. Cool. If anybody was sort of Snake Eyesy, it's him. He doesn't talk. He doesn't talk. Or he can, but it's very, very strained. But out of the group of friends, he's the sort of the ass kicker.
Gotcha.
So then when you create these figures,
Yeah.
do you like go, okay, let's write an entire backstory for them?
Oh, absolutely. We have a huge story. And that's the thing. That's our problem, is we're trying to figure out how to get the story out, and we might just end up doing it just on our website, like come back every week and we'll have a new chapter up or something, because we have so much story to tell. We just don't know how to get it out there.
Yeah, I'd say that would be the first
yeah.
way, and the next way would be like a printed material comic book type of thing too.
Yeah,
right?
I think comics are somewhat cost prohibitive, and they're not. It's not that it's too expensive. It's that I think a lot of our peers have gone out and made comics and then not really gotten much of a return on the investment.
Yeah.
Like the people, you put a lot of money into it and it's not even reaching all the people, and you want to figure out a way to get something that just reaches all the people, ideally for free, so we're still trying to figure that out.
All right, so I'm just throw this out. This is a free idea. So on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, they have like these reels, and now they have the shorts on YouTube, and they have to be under a certain time limit. But if you have artwork and it's drawn in like a comic book format, you can film it, have the images pan and then just add like voices over, kind of like you're making like a motion comic with like voices. And then every episode could be like a page or something like that, or something where if you're sitting there scrolling through all your videos, it's like you're getting the whole story, but like you know, and then they just link to the products. I don't know. There's
definitely something in there. I mean, I've done a podcast for 12 years, and somebody was like, why don't you just make it a podcast? But I don't know if that's going to reach everybody, but we're still trying to figure it out.
I think with that graphic, I mean, because you got great characters here, and like it's kind of like a cross between like a comic book and a cartoon. At that point.
Yeah. We'll definitely look into it.
Yeah. Salacious Rum says he backed this on the 11th of June 2023.
Yeah.
Shinobi.
Yeah.
Is that the same one you got, John?
Yeah.
So was that the big seller?
Yeah, absolutely. He was the standout. And it said it's taking a long time for one figure. Well, unfortunately you can't just make one figure at a time. You have to make, tens of thousands of figures at the same time, or else the factory's not interested. So
we'll tell Salacious Rum to rewind to the beginning of the show where you said that whole thing about like product development, design, manufacture, and shipping.
It should be soon. I mean, if you keep updated, Salacious, if you keep updated with the Kickstarter or whatever, there's still emails going out. And we've had a minor setback, but we're pretty much on track now. So
there was something that I found interesting. I like that you guys were sharing that info. You had something go wrong with the arms on the figures, right?
It was
it ended up causing you to make a whole new mold, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
So setback is a big setback, in my opinion, right?
It is. It was really frustrating to find that out, that we had gone through the whole process and everything was ready, and they're just about to start production, and then so they do what they call like a last pull, and it's sort of, they just make sure that in the time that's passed, that everything is still functional. And so that's when you see like VSPs or vendor, the randomly colored plastic figures. They're just putting whatever plastic through to make sure everything's working right. And that's when they said, oh, we've just discovered that the mold for the arms is broken, so we have to remake it. And so it was really frustrating, but they're hard at work at it right now, and then production starts immediately.
But I thought it was really nice of you guys to be open with that and share it with the community and the people that are waiting, because it gives everyone who is reading those updates an idea of like what's going on. Instead of just hiding it and keeping it to yourselves, you seem to be very open and honest with the process and how, even if you have setbacks, like, I'm sorry guys, but this happened, and I prefer hearing that kind of stuff than just being like, whatever,
Well, thank you. Yeah,
it's important, because as a collector and somebody who has chosen to like share like my collection like on YouTube and stuff like that, when I get a new figure, if there's something wrong with it, a lot of times like I'll reach out to whoever the maker is and I'll ask them 4 or 5 questions about it, especially if it's kind of new. And I always wait to see what kind of response I'm going to get, because I think it's important to know, like, oh, are you aware of this? Is this something you're already looking at in the future? So you're already ahead of that by putting that information out there.
Right. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I tried to be as transparent as possible. Do you mind if I address what Sonny's said?
Sonny asked,
Go ahead.
The licensing.
Yep. So Sonny's question was, can you license product Shinobi?
Yeah.
Sega couldn't.
Yeah. So you can absolutely come up with a product called Shinobi. You just don't have the same. You can't get a copyright or a trademark on that because it's just too broad of a term to us. Westerners, like, that seems pretty specific or unique, but it's exactly that. It's like if we'd called the figure Ninja, you can't get that trademarked or anything because that's too generic of a word. You're not going to get a copyright on that or a trademark on that. So that's why you have to come up with something
You
more.
could call it like Super Awesome Ninja Toy Company,
Absolutely.
But your figure can be trademarked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The imagery, your colorway, your everything. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I'm going to trademark my name, but I don't think they're going to let me.
Oh yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I might be the only one, but anyway.
I don't. Yeah, it's interesting. Everything I grew up thinking I knew about the trademark and patent office, I knew nothing about, and I've learned so much in the last few years. But yeah. Right, and then so the champions of Hidden Force are so essentially that's our homage to the 5 unproduced G.I. Joe Ninja Commandos, which had G.I. Joe gone into 1995, those first 5 figures would have come out. That would have been Budo and Knockout and Flint and Storm Shadow and Road Pig. And because those figures never actually came out and were never produced, there isn't any real protection for them because they weren't made. They don't exist. So not only that, 30 years later. So there are homages. We're not saying that that's Road Pig. We're not saying that's Shadow. That's Gudan and that's Omen, and those are our characters. But we just thought, why don't we give them the look of the figures that never came out?
Gotcha.
So, yeah,
that is super cool. I like it.
Thanks. Yeah.
So weird. Yeah, because when I saw that, the first thing I thought of was Road Pig.
Right.
He's so identifiably, and that wasn't intentional, but we're like, that totally looks like a Road Pig, but it's not Road Pig. It's Gudan, the bull. Yeah.
Road Pig-esque.
So then, obviously, the word Hidden Force, which again was totally, long since available because Remco went out of business ages ago and they've done nothing to protect the rights. So there was a character called Hidden Force in the Remco line 30 some odd years ago. And that's where this all started from. It wasn't even the word. It was just, we were talking about ninjas and what we wanted to do for ninjas. And Matt was like, my favorite figure was Hidden Force. And he wasn't even a G.I. Joe. And we were like, And then we as we had other conversations, we're like, Hidden Force could mean more than just one thing. It could mean a whole bunch of things. And we started spitballing back and forth about, and that was sort of the basis of the story. It was like, well, let's let everybody think the Hidden Force is one thing, but then secretly the Hidden Force is 2 or 3 other things. And from there, all the characters started to just materialize. Like we just like, oh, well, we would need a character for this and that. And it's sort of where it all started.
Yeah.
Nice. So
and I got to see that you had the clear figure at the show. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rick.
Go ahead. So this is still being produced, right? Your first series here, your first wave, you want to call it?
Yeah.
Now, not to jump ahead or predict something, but
sure.
Since you mentioned the Hidden Force was an old, like Remco style, like 5.5 He-Man kind of ish.
No, they were 3 and 3/4 inch.
Oh, they were 3 and 3/4. Okay, my question was going to be: have you thought about maybe doing that? Bulky 5-inch, Remco style with your same characters and storyline, but just as a maybe a future alternate, scale or line.
I will say anything is possible. My love is 3 and 3/4 inch O-ring, and everything I produce will always be available in that. But that doesn't mean not any other way. Like there will definitely be other formats. One of the weird things that to sort of throw at you guys is all of our accessories. I don't know how familiar you are with Lego, but Lego has a standard. Well, Lego, the entire toy has standards. As the stud is always the same, and the receptacle is always the same, and the bar is always the same. And so all of our accessories are actually the bar, the Lego bar, the 3.18 millimeter bar. And so yeah, you can actually add to your weapons if you have Lego parts, because they fit Lego and Lego fits them. And immediately, if we were going to do a different scale, we are already talking to people that do Lego style figures, because we think that would be fun.
Oh, okay.
But because we already have the accessories ready to go, right? But we'll see about other sizes and other formats. We are talking to people. There are people that have come to us with.
So with everything you've done so far, it's been the 375 O-ring styles, right?
Yeah, and it always will. I mean, like I say, it doesn't mean there won't be other sizes, but there'll always be the basis of a 3 3/4 inch line. That'll always be the start.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks.
There's a lot. Well, trust me, there's a lot of collectors that do. I mean, we've made comments about certain. We won't mention McFarlane.
And the 5 million sizes they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had one of these clear figures at the show, right? Now
that's right.
So did you have the Remco one and this one, or how did that?
Yeah, so we had the Remco one, and then we had this one, which is we had just done a resin print.
Gotcha.
And so he'll but the factory is producing him right now as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So
Rum's being kind of
no. Yeah, because someone, what are they saying? So you're not worried about like cost overruns and like Kickstarters going bust due to the production cost and stuff? Like you pretty much have that nailed down, right?
Oh yeah, well yeah, both. Yeah, I'm very worried about that kind of stuff, but we've designed everything so that at any stage, at any level in the Kickstarter, that we wouldn't be left having to come up with more money on top. It was like, okay, well, once we hit there, we have enough to produce all this, and once we hit that level, we have enough to produce all this. So yeah, the budget's tight. I'm not going to lie. Every cent that we made in the Kickstarter and backer kit and the pre-sales is going to the production. And there's literally not a cent left over, and that's okay by us. We're not in this to be rich tomorrow or ever. It'd be nice if we made some money at the end of the day, but we're more interested in making all the action figures we wanted and not being broke for it. That's all.
Yeah.
So I want to. Go ahead.
No, that covers it. I think and then Dandy's helping out in the chat with covering other things with Big Bad Toy Store that he might have missed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That was the concern that came up earlier about running out of money. But I'm interested in this clear figure and how it compares to like the other figures. Is the plastic got to be different because it's clear?
Yeah, a little bit, but not really. I mean, it's essentially the same plastics that we're using, because that soft plastic is all the same soft connection points that we use. Yeah, like I would say, I'm trying to think of a comparable. I really wish I had opened my the Delta 17 figure, because I know that he's using essentially the same place as us and the same plastics as us and same everything, but I haven't actually opened it to confirm it. But yeah, so I mean, we're in the same factory that produces many other toys, along with of note Strike Force Alpha. And we don't have the same construction of figures. We don't have the same anything. We don't even have. I don't even know if all of our parts are compatible. But that's the same plastics. It's the same paint factory. And yeah. So if you have any Strike Force Alpha figures, that would be a good gauge to see what level of quality and craftsmanship comes out.
Okay,
gotcha.
Yeah,
now, I have a super geeky technical question.
Yeah.
Since I know you're an O-ring kind of guru. Now, Vern, are you able to make me big quick just so I can show this off here?
Yeah.
So I have a 6-inch O-ring style Mr. T figure.
Right.
But it's 6-inch, and I've had this for maybe 15, 20 years.
Sure.
And nobody knows where it's from or who made it, or if it's a prototype or any kind of a hand-painted photocopy, but it's exact same as what Galoob did.
Yeah.
But it's not 3.75. It's actually double that. It's 6 inches.
That's crazy.
Recently,
So-
my O-ring broke, but I've
no.
had this a long time. I've never, even if you look for a 6-inch O-ring figure, nothing even shows up on Google. But like my Facebook post from 2020, like, have you ever heard of any?
No, I couldn't tell you where it came from, but to save on costs, you can just scale up a figure, like to save on production costs again. So I could say to the factory, hey, take all those files and scale it up to a 6-inch figure, and they could run a mold and it would be the exact same, and thereby saving me from having to do a sculptor or whatever, or the months that it takes to get that. You can just
sure, but then you're paying for a new mold.
It's a whole new mold. Exactly, you're still paying for it. Yeah. But yeah, if somebody was rushing something to market and they needed to eliminate that first 6 months of development, that's an easy way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because I've been asking as many experts and
I've never seen anything like that
ever. What this toy was from?
Yeah, that is interesting, Rick. He never showed us before either.
I post it every year on the internet, like for 20 years.
Somebody will figure it out one day.
All right, so I got to ask a question. I'm going to go back to this original first slide that we did. So this has your guys' Instagram and the website for Whiskey's Jack Toys. Now, it was sent these two logos, and they're Meglio Corp and what is this other?
So it's Melio and it's the War Masters.
And what are they?
Okay, so again, like I said, really quickly there, Shinobi and his friends leave the protected city of Harai to go see what else is out there. There's more to it. I mean, I don't want to reveal everything, but
okay.
So they go out there knowing, like I said, the outside world, if they could get their hands on it, would destroy the city and exploit the flower and what have you. Melio is it's a company owned by a sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like sort of like a billionaire Jeff Bezos sort of. I can't even think of his name right now. But yeah, sort of like the billionaire.
So it's Elon Musk's company.
Yeah, essentially, he's sort of a hybrid of all those sort of high-profile billionaires. He made his empire on health and wellness, exploiting, like snake oil products and exploiting people's need for whatever. And so he's very messianic, and he is sees himself as the ultimate guru. And Melio is it's Italian for better. It's just he believes that he can make the world better. Or at least that's what he promises everybody. He sells everybody on the idea that he can make everything better. And so he wants the flower. He finds out about it, of course, and he's like, oh my God, like I could make billions. I could sell billions by figuring out a way to exploit this flower that gives people powers. And but he doesn't have any muscles. So he turns to a small consortium of weapons manufacturers called the War Masters, and essentially hires them. He's like, go do what you have to do to get me that. And that's sort of where that's where the story really digs in. Like that's where it becomes.
So that's like a tease of something that's coming.
Yeah. Right. So, and that is to say too, that yes, our first 4 or 5 waves are all ninjas. And then after that, we definitely start breaking out of that mold. It's not all ninjas anymore. There's a lot of other things. So
more story to tell everybody.
Yeah. Pretty deep story. Yeah.
That's gonna be really cool.
Like you said, we really want to tell the story. We've worked on it for years. So
nice. Yeah. All right. So I'm showing this.
Yeah, nobody's seen that. That is a first to the world.
There it is.
Wow.
So Eagle Force, the plan was Eagle Force would come out about 1.5 years from now. And Bill, who I adore dearly, he's a very close, good friend. He's like, do what you can to get it out faster. And I was like, we can make a kind of a special mission Savitar, not our final Savitar, but we can make like a certain specific mission. And he was like, do it, let's do it. So we literally came up with this figure a couple of weeks ago, and it should be available, I don't know, in 4 or 5 months. And we're treating it as a sneak preview because we are doing a whole Eagle Force line. We're not there yet. We're almost there. So, yeah.
So who owns Eagle Force? Because that was a line back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bill bought all the
actually
rights. Yeah, he bought all the rights and everything from Eagle Force from Marty Abrams, which Marty Abrams was Mego, right?
Oh, so that was a Mego thing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So he bought the whole everything off Marty. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. I remember, weren't they the metal? Were they metal back in the day? The little.
Yeah, they were like 2.5-inch metal figures.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So is this utilizing some of your parts from your line because you're following the O-ring ninja styles and
absolutely. Yeah. And there's a lot of figures coming out, even in Chaos, that they were essentially, I was making them because I was like, oh, I need to repurpose this to get that Eagle Force line going. I need to, like, if I need this jacket, can it be a jacket that can be used in Eagle Force? Yes. And like, oh, I need that, so yeah.
That's cool. I mean,
well, I mean, a lot of companies did that back in the day. Like Kenner reused some Star Wars to make like, what was it, Robin Hood, and they used some superpower stuff to make other lines. Yeah, so it's like I think a lot of companies will retool and use old molds to make new figures and new lines, and it just makes it more cost effective for you guys, right? And
when we're still small and just getting started, it's absolutely imperative, and I look forward to the day when we don't have to. But like, and that's the difference. Our Kickstarter funded at 50,000, and Carson's was 400,000. And because Carson, that's what is it? Operation Recall. I can't remember what he's calling it, but it's the full line of, essentially, he's using all the original creators from G.I. Joe to make new essential G.I. Joes, and he's
each one is unique then, right?
Yeah, and so each one of those got a unique body and unique head, unique everything, and I think that's awesome and it's fantastic, but it shows you the difference of what that is. Like, to do that, you need a budget of like 400,000. That's just the way it goes to do that kind of production run too. Yeah.
Right. So this is in conjunction with Fresh Monkey Fiction.
That's right. Yeah. This is definitely with Bill. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the ways, I guess, you're able to, you asked if he could, or he asked if you could expedite this particular figure, and you're like, yeah, but because we have some molds existing now, we just have to maybe tool ahead and then some accessories and give them a new paint plan kind of thing. So that helps to speed up something like this when you are, in some cases able to, reuse parts that exist or some of your molding tools, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I got these.
There's the Chaos.
Tell us about Chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Chaos is just me. I mean, I normally have a partner in lines, but like every second or third one is going to be just me. And Chaos is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's villains versus villains. There's no heroes. There's no good guys. It's just bad guys being bad to each other. And so in the beginning, it's Killjoy, Dr. Killjoy here. It's his idea that, every plan he has, every master plan he has gets foiled by whatever good guys. And he knows that other people around there are just like him. So he invites them to create a group, and they'll take out each other's enemies. They'll like just join forces temporarily to remove each other's enemies. And it goes over so well that he puts a call out to all the villains of all the world, essentially, through back channels and what have you.
Their Facebook group they have.
Yeah, right. And so they create essentially an army of bad guys, and they become essentially unstoppable, and they just keep taking out each other's.
Nice.
So that's just it. So you'll see people that are individuals like Killjoy and Maniac. They came from their own whatever, but you'll see other groups that may have existed in the past. So Backdraft and Blaze are here. If you remember Bronze Bombers, they're some of the bad guys from Bronze Bombers, and repurposed as they saw the Bronze Bombers group was called Pyro and his band of thugs, but we've changed it to Firebrand. And so Firebrand was like they just bought into what Dr. Killjoy was selling. They were like, yeah, we'll join your army and help take out each other's enemies. And you'll see more and more of that as we go forward. There's other sort of subgroups that existed in toy lines from long forgotten start making their way in joining this army.
Is Steel Monsters, is that up for grabs from Tonka? You could turn them into three. You could turn them into O-ring figures.
I don't want to give away too much. We don't have any mock-ups done, but I absolutely adore them. And yes, we hope to bring a few of those characters over.
That's a great line. Yeah.
Yeah. Huntsman and Spider are both from a very obscure European toy line called European Force. And they were bootlegs, unabashedly bootlegs from the 80s, available only in Europe. And so we've just, these aren't the characters' names. They had other names, but so this group is called Tarantula, and they've been absorbed into Killjoy's army as well.
So this is your own original IP, this line of Chaos here.
Yeah, but in this one, we're making a lot of homages to a lot of all of the lesser known villains that I loved playing with when I was a kid. You know.
No, that's good. But I mean, at this point, from everything you showed us, you're not paying anyone any licensing fees.
No.
To use their words or pictures or stuff like that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Swampfire and Buzzkill, they're again just two of Killjoy's agents, you know. Everybody's got a pretty interesting past. But they also are meant to be, just take them at face value. They're just fun villains to add to your Cobra army or your whatever. Make them fight Transformers for all I care.
More 18 bad guys.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody needs more bad guys. Yeah, and so Chaos is going to go to Kickstarter in October. I'm gonna from October 1st to October 31st.
I like that guy with the mohawk, the metal head and the mohawk. Yeah. Is there any chance that could be vac metalized? I mean, do you know what I mean? Like with that cool chrome look?
Yesterday, we talked about it yesterday. I would love to do it chrome, vac metalized. The factory can do it chrome. The problem is that when you chrome something, you chrome it all. You can't not chrome it all. You have a touch point where it's being held, where it's to get the vac metalized process, and vac metalizing doesn't allow for paint. So we could chrome the whole thing, but you can't paint it.
But then the mohawk wouldn't be black. I get what you're saying.
Or the eyes wouldn't be red.
Or the eyes red. Yeah.
So
interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out a way around it. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll talk to the factory. Yeah. But yeah, I'd love to do them. Okay.
Oh, and then, these are cool.
Macumba.
Vern has like press on hair, so maybe you can like have
a piece like that. Yeah.
Have a piece you can glue on and.
Right. Yeah. Now, does this guy have a transparent skull?
Halloween does.
That is so cool.
It's a transparent orange skull. So
that's cool, man.
Halloween doesn't really. Yeah, so Macumba is a voodoo priest. Halloween he believes he's the spirit of trickery and whatever. He makes some pretty outlandish claims, but at the same time, people are like, he's not actually a demon, but he keeps saying to everybody he is. But nobody can explain why he has a transparent orange skull head. So
that's cool. That's why.
It's because he came right out of my comic books that I drew as a kid.
Oh, that's crazy. That's awesome.
That's a different name, Vern. You can't sue him.
I know.
Now,
these are my favorites so far. Nice work on these.
Thanks.
So now I got to ask about glow in the dark. Like,
oh yeah,
is that like something they can do there too, or like how does that work when you make a glow in the dark figure?
There will be a glow in the dark version of Halloween for sure. Yeah.
Don't make it a Walmart.
I just see these and I think of all these different repaint options, like build Fisher Price space colors or Hammerhead colors. Like, these are fantastic.
Oh yeah, way ahead of you on some of those, but I always like to hear other ideas too.
So Salacious Rome's making another comment. He's saying, so let me ask you a question. Are you leveraging the revenue that you made from pre-orders to do Wave 2?
Yeah, Wave 2 and Wave 3, both all together, we need one new tool. That's it. We just need one new tool to make those other two waves happen. We're going back to Hidden Force, which is very affordable considering the amount of tooling we had to do to get the initial ones done. So we're not even going to go to Kickstarter for it. We're just going to hopefully sell enough figures. But if we don't sell enough figures, we'll just come up with the money between ourselves and take out a loan or whatever, because it's not a ton of money. It's not break the bank money at all. But the idea then too, it's production runs at that point that become really expensive, right? Like just again, a factory won't do small numbers. They have to have a minimum amount to make it even worth their while. And you know,
what would be a reasonable a guesstimate on when backers would potentially expect to see like something showing up?
For what? For Hidden Force?
Yes.
Hidden Force, we're hoping for now, like mid-August. We're hoping. Okay. We'll see. I mean, the broken wrist or broken arm or whatever it was, we don't know how far that's going to set us back, but we're still hoping for August, maybe September. I don't know. As soon as we know from the factory, we'll tell everybody.
Okay. I was just curious.
And the only thing too, I mean, I think something worth mentioning is that sometimes it is rather nebulous and you don't get anybody confirming or nobody's making any sort of solid claims. And the only thing I can say is that this is a proven factory. They did Strikeforce Alpha. They did so White Elephant Toys, which is Strikeforce Alpha. He's worked at this factory for 15 years. He's had toys out at Toys R Us. You know, like this factory has produced toys that have been around for quite some time. So I trust them is all I'm driving at. Is I know that these aren't another fly by night trying to figure it out as they go factory. This is somebody that's done this before. It's frustrating. Yeah,
I know a lot of these popular, the quality good toy manufacturers are busy because they are producing action figures and toys for lots of other companies that want the quality toys. Absolutely. So I totally know what you mean. Yeah. And I know some of these overseas factories, because we're in North America, they have holidays all the time. Like
they do
week-long
they shut down for like 6 weeks. You're like,
because they work, like they'll go to work for like 20 days in a row, and like, because they live out of town, they stay in lodging or whatever you want to call it at their factories, and then they'll get okay, now it's 2 weeks off, it's May holiday. You go home, and then you come. Like it is a little different over there, but I'm aware they for sure things do get delayed because we don't know these holidays. We don't have calendars that say every 20 days they have a 2-week holiday, and the factories
totally
are closed.
It's just totally different over there. Yep.
Have you been on to visit a factory yet?
I haven't. No, I'd like to go next year. I'd like to think
it seems quite interesting.
I love it. There'll be a lot of irons in the fire next year, and that seems like a good time to go. So
excellent.
Yeah. I mean, I had one more question, like related to production of things, like so, because I've heard this from a few other people where like they get say like a test shot and you get it back, and you're just kind of like, wow, this wasn't the plastic I was expecting. This wasn't the feel or the thing, and then you have to go back and you have to be brave enough, number one, to tell the factory, right? Because some people will just live with it, and then they're like, oh crap, when the product comes out, the customers aren't happy with it. But it's like, did you run into any of that? Do you get something back and then go, you know what, this isn't quite right, guys, we got to change this before it can go into production?
The whole time we did Red Laser, there wasn't that. We didn't get the test shots, but they would take their own liberties and make decisions for us without conferring with us. Gotcha. And we would get subpar product, and we're like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, we saved you, $3,000. We're like, well, now this is garbage. Like, you can't do that. You can't do this and not talk to us. So I haven't faced anything like that with the new factory, but
gotcha. Okay. So it's something that's happened, but not with current stuff. I gotcha. Yeah. Because I could just imagine that process being kind of long. You think you're getting something back that they think you're going to be happy with. Then you're like, no, man, you got to change all this. And then you also have to be brave enough to tell them, because some people, if they're too shy or they don't understand the business, they might not speak up, and then your customers aren't going to be happy. So it's good that you've already been through that experience, I guess, and you've got that in your back, in your belt, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know that, like, okay, so as Whiskey Jack, that you were saying the chaos is like your idea, your line, and the Hidden Force is you're working with other guys. So I'm assuming the other people that are working on Hidden Force are like engaged in like what's going on at the factories and all that stuff too, or Is that
Not
all
really.
fall on you, basically?
Yeah, no. We just sort of each pick our battles. So because I had so much experience dealing with factories and what have you, that's more on me. Whereas they handle a lot more of the talent pool.
Okay.
And yeah, just because it's easier for a designer to talk to a designer in a designer language than it is for me to talk to a designer, like just because Matt's so amazing at that. So let him sort of handle talking with all the talent and all the sculptors that we use and designers. Yeah.
So as a like a follow-up, I know you were talking earlier that you were working with some guys. They had that one idea and you were kind of like, no, I got to go work on my 50 ideas.
Yeah.
Right. When do you feel like it's like I'm now planning too far ahead?
Always. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some of these characters, like some of the stories, some of the whatever, like if I've been doing this since I was probably 17 and, I'm in my late 40s. So, I have literally books and books and books of potential stories, like premises, character types. I literally have to I have a list on my computer of 3,000 characters and the 90 different storylines of what I would like to tell that story one day somehow in some format. And most of the stuff, like all this stuff, is half of it's already done. Like for Chaos, I came up with 300 characters. I have 300 characters.
Wow.
I'd love to get through. Hidden Force has 240 characters. Like we would love to get to them all. I don't think any one of them are going to get to the end. I know that there'll only be so much support to such a degree, but they all have long legs. There is a lot. If any one idea takes off, there is a lot to go with.
Okay.
So,
So I got to ask a question then, real quick about this Chaos.
Yeah.
How soon before the legs run out does this guy get a car?
Maniac. We're already talking about vehicles for sure. We have a vehicle that we're trying to develop right now because it would be useful in 2 of our lines. And with that, if we can get there, if we can get to that, then it opens up a lot of possibilities because I don't want to give away too much, but there is a bit of a hidden force in, like, everything I've told you about is happening in chapter 1, or the main story, the first act. In the second act, they end up in a deserted wasteland, and we sort of shift scenarios, and that deserted wasteland is very post-apocalyptic. So we can post-apocalyptic ninjas are awesome, by the way. But
looks like ninjas drive Mitsubishis according to Google.
Well, and that's just it. So there's room for some pretty amazing cars that have been tricked out, and
motorcycles
and vehicles and exactly. So we're trying to get there. That it's definitely on our radar. And I'm sure you'll see development as we share.
Yeah.
Cool.
I hope you're. I was gonna say, I hope you're good with all this, because we're, especially Vern and I, we're very interested in how toys are made, how they're designed, the sculpting, the factories, like Rick too, with Dan, everybody. So that's why we're asking these kind of technical questions. I don't know if you normally get this kind of stuff when people ask, but it's just something that we're very interested in. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said at the beginning, a lot of my peers or contemporaries did sort of strip mine me for information in the early days. I'm used to it, I guess. I'm not a trailblazer or the first to walk that path, but out of all the people I know that were taking a lot of risks and trying things out because they were so desperate to get a figure made, I do know that I'm the one that's the least of a gatekeeper. I have no need to hide this information. I don't understand why people want to hide how to do things from each other.
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
I think certain trademark point of articulation, or something that but other than that, I do what you're saying. It sounds like this branch of the the toy, the smaller action figure making companies in the O-ring realm are happy to share some tips and tricks and not do's and what do's, and that's there's nothing wrong with that.
What's awesome about knowing all of them. So at Joe Fest, most of them were there. There was Troy was there from Longbow, who used to be my business partner. There was Steve Strike Force, from Delta 17, Matt from Strike Force Alpha, like we're all friends. And so I just pulled them all aside on the first day and I said, hey guys, I'm about to dump a lot of money into tooling this vehicle. And I know it sounds weird, but can you all look at it and tell me that we're not competing against each other? Because there's no need for us all to go broke trying to all make something similar to each other. And I showed everybody. Everybody's like, no, it's cool. I'm not doing anything like that. No, I'm not doing anything like that. And then Steve pulled out pictures. Like, I'm in the middle of tooling that very vehicle. I was like, what? So we looked and I was like, okay, well, that's fantastic. I'm so glad, because why would I want to compete with you on this? I will change what I'm doing to fit, better, where it doesn't, it doesn't impede on your sales. Because now if somebody wants that vehicle, they can just get it from you and I'll make something different. I'm okay with that. Like, and I hope that we can keep that relationship going where we all sort of just heads up, to do something expensive. Is this dumb, and then somebody's like, yeah, I'm already midway through that. So, yeah.
So you don't have any mortal enemies in the toy business?
No.
I was gonna say, it's kind of like when we talk about all of our different, because we all have different YouTube channels, right? And we help each other out a lot, and I'm always like, if we help each other grow, Absolutely. Everyone can achieve their goals. And why can't you just have a group of people that are saying there's room at the top for everybody? Why don't we just help each other? And everybody reach.
I'm gonna go back to Marauder Gun Runners. Marauder John said years ago to me, he just said, a rising tide raises all boats. And it's not that he coined that term, but in this instance, it's true. The more there is of us, doesn't mean we're competing against each other. We're creating a bigger space, a more collector base. We're helping each other. We're bringing all each other up because we're actually making a bigger customer base to draw from. So
Well, I think it also kind of helps. I had done that video like about Valaverse and Hasbro and the two lines, right? And I was kind of comparing them, and you can see that Hasbro has made a lot of improvements over their line. I think that was a direct reflection on a little bit of the competition in the market. You know what I mean? So I think everybody kind of gets, receives from that, because I think, the accessories and everything get better. Then you see companies like Gridiron Studios making their stuff. And then you got Fresh Monkey Fiction with their Monster Force lines and stuff like that.
Oh my God, I love Monster Force so much. I do. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, Bill, you got to let me make that into 3 3/4 inch for you. And he's like, we'll talk, but I love it.
Yeah. You just see that stuff and you just know how it's just bumping up your in my mind, it's just bumping up my personal collection at this point, because there's just going to be more to choose from.
Yeah.
So Aaron, you're a 3 3/4 guy through and through. That's your jam.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. So is there any? I don't think it's going to be something you're going to say, oh, I'm already working on that. But I mean, is there any toy line, let's say pop culture, comic, movie, something from your life that has never been made an action figure line that you think would be an awesome, like O-ring style action figure and toy line?
I have a small list. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to share that because I'd like to still pursue them and I don't necessarily need the competition.
Okay, I kind of thought I'd get an answer like that.
Yeah, there's definitely a few. There's a few properties out there that have never been made into toys that I'd love to handle. But there's also a couple of properties out there that I'm not tipping the hat on anything because I'm not giving any names, but I have been talking to a couple of different comic book producers and just saying, like, I love what you're doing. And by couple, I literally mean two, but just I love what you're doing. I would love to make an action figure line out of this.
Nice work.
And so we'll see how that goes. But cool. We're really early stages. Yeah.
So on a personal note, though, what do you collect personally?
3 3/4 inch O-ring action figures. That's it.
Yeah, that was coming.
Any. I'm not. It's not just like GI Joe, but like Chips, MASH, Robotech. There's American Defense, the Core. Any of them that came with the O-ring figures, like it's all fair game to me.
Well, A-Team was the best one by far. We all agree to that, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. According to
Even though they look nothing like their
Yeah.
uniforms look nothing like their TV show
I know.
counterparts, but they're O-ring.
Yeah.
Battlestar
take off,
Galactica
guys.
or
All right,
Buck
Dan.
Rogers.
It was Buck Rogers. Yeah, Buck Rogers had the O-ring. Yeah.
Black Hole.
We'll see you next week, Dan.
Yeah.
Hold on. We'll see
Yeah,
you
hey
next week.
Darren, it was awesome meeting you, man. But I apologize. I have to go. I have a
Oh, no
conflicting
worries.
schedule here.
I got to go pretty soon too. We're
Okay.
getting into our lunch here at work. So
The
Well,
restaurant.
good luck,
yeah.
man. It was great meeting you.
yeah, great
Okay.
meeting you. Thanks.
See you, Dan. Dukes of Hazzard was O-ring.
Yeah.
But it's because we're talking about that. So the A-Team, the good guys, were O-ring.
Yeah.
The bad guys were 5 POA.
I'm
And does
fixing
anyone
that.
know why that was? They're both made by
I'm gonna
Hulu,
fix
I
that.
I
believe.
want to fix that.
But I mean, the bad guys were 5 POA, and then the good guys were O-ring, and it's just weird.
Just keep your eyes on Chaos, and you will
Yeah, there
get
you
the
go.
O-ring.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
But that's exactly what Chaos is. It's to take all those weird figures that were lesser known villains that nobody remembers and make them sort of prominent again or elevate them. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're saying you gotta get ready to take off because your
I do.
work comes first.
Yeah. And
all right.
there's been I hope it hasn't bothered you guys at all, but there's been lots of knocks on my door.
Nah, it's
People
fine.
keep trying to come in here.
Oh, we're okay.
Good. Okay.
Usually we're just talking over each other, so we wouldn't have noticed anyways. Really appreciate you coming on though and talking about
Yeah.
Chaos, Legends of the Hidden Force, the whole thing.
Thank you.
hope-
Yeah. Anytime.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I could talk about this stuff to the end of the earth because I love it all. So yeah, if you ever want me to come back on and talk more.
Yeah,
or-
if
Yeah.
or-
we were just gonna say, if you want to come back during that Kickstarter for Chaos,
Sure.
you're more than welcome. You know.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah. So
Yeah.
sometime in October. I'll see you then.
All right. Awesome.
Okay. Great. Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Take
Thanks, Darren.
Thanks. Bye.
Cheers.
care. I guess he didn't realize he has to click leave.
We're gonna do
There
that on
you
my
go.
desktop.
There you go.
All right. Anyways, I
That
wanna
was
say thank you
cool.
for
That was
people-
good.
Yeah. Name as many monster movies as you can.
Come on, man. Can I get
American
this one?
Werewolf in Paris, American Werewolf in London, Frankenstein, monster movies, Godzilla. Sorry, I don't want to do the whole thing with the naming every single Godzilla, so I won't cheat with that one.
Hey, Dan. So what's going on, man?
Werewolf, Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Invisible Man.
Yeah,
All right.
that last one doesn't count.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Well, the Invisible
I
Man's
got
not
5.5.
Okay, and then John, you have 6.
I think it was 6 because the Invisible Man was part of the original Universal Monsters stuff.
Yeah.
So,
But
I
he
think
didn't say it in time.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
I think we'll
Thank
give
you.
him.
right at the buzzer. I
I
mean,
think we'll give him 6.
You got Bride of Frankenstein. You got
All right, so you got
Oh,
6,
yeah.
Dan.
Son
All
of
right.
I'll try not to go into the weeds with those, you know.
All right, so Dean,
Don't
as soon as I finish reading,
Can I have horror movies, please?
as soon as I finish reading, you got 30 seconds. Ready?
Wait.
Name as many horror movies as you can.
Oh boy.
We have House on Haunted Hill, Carrie. We have
Hey, there
The
was that
Shining.
one movie.
Jaws. We have House on Haunted Hill Part 2, American
What's the
Psycho,
real part 2.
Psycho,
I think some of these could be the same answer.
Christine, The Thing.
Oh, time's up. All right.
I think he got 8. I think he got 8.
I was thinking of
Is there a part 2 to the House on Haunted Hill?
yeah.
Is there
And
a
is it
part 2
actually
to
called
Jaws?
House on Haunted
Is
Hill
there
Part 2?
a part 3 and 4 and 5 to Jaws?
The Hills
but
Have
it's just-
Eyes, perfect, nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, The
Yeah.
Hills Have Eyes is a great one.
All right. So we did have the Mummy, Dracula,
Nope.
Frankenstein for those other
Blood
ones.
Beach,
Nope.
Bagman.
Nope. Yeah.
Bagman. How about
Scream.
Don't Scream?
Okay.
Don't
Scream.
Don't scream.
Scream 2.
All right. So you got 8 to
The
6.
Amityville Horror.
8 to
That's
6.
the one I was stumped on. I was trying to think of that one. It costed me 5 seconds to The Fog, great one.
Yeah, the fog.
Yeah.
First one, not the.
And then there's the mist.
The Mist was good.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crappy ending though.
Okay.
Well, it's a disturbing ending, but it's
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
I think it's a good. I think it's a good
Halloween,
ending because they
Friday the
dared do
13th,
it. But
Nightmare on
See how
Elm
easy
Street.
it is? Hold on. Dino, you see how easy it is now that your time has expired and there's no pressure? Because you really stalled right after like the third movie.
Because I was thinking of
Showgirls.
I was thinking of that movie that I can't think of again.
yeah, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. It's like you can go on and on.
Yeah.
All right.
Man,
All right.
romantic comedy in school.
Okay, Dan, you ready?
Plus, I'm watching the auction too.
All right. All right. Name as many TV westerns as you can.
What? There were westerns on TV?
God dang it.
Pumpkinhead, great one.
Gunsmoke.
Pumpkinhead?
Ooh.
Pumpkinhead wasn't a western.
Kung Fu count.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kung Fu's a western, right?
Zorro.
You got me. I'm not good at westerns.
I'm helping him out. Zorro. The
Lone
Zorro
Ranger?
one?
That count?
Ooh.
Yep.
Lone Ranger
Yeah.
counts.
Ranger.
Bonanza, the big valley, Rifleman,
Yeah, big one, Bender.
How the West Was Won.
That's hard too. I would stall on that one.
Oh,
too.
Westworld. There you go. That can
Wild Wild
Westworld
West.
was not a TV show.
Yeah, it
What?
was.
What wasn't?
That was a movie with Yul Brenner. It was not a
Westworld was-
TV show.
It was
Wild
also a
Wild
TV
West?
show.
Wild
Was
Wild
a
West.
TV
Oh,
show.
God, yeah, duh.
No, it was.
Still a
That was a
TV show,
movie.
isn't it?
Which was?
Westworld.
Yeah, it
Wild
was
Wild
also a
West.
TV show on.
That was a science fiction show.
Yeah, it was Western. It was set
With
in
cowboys.
Western. Yeah, it was set in Western.
No, it wasn't. It was set in the future when they made
No,
fake people,
yeah, but people
robots.
went out to the old West. That's what it was. All right. Anyways, that's 3 more, Dan. So you have a total of 9. And
Yeah.
Dino,
I just need one.
you need 1 to
You
tie.
need one to tie.
Two to win.
and
Got
two
it.
to win.
Two to win.
Please be romantic comedy.
Yeah, I'm gonna flop on this one. It's gonna be
All right. You ready?
Western characters. I have no
Okay,
idea.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Name as many TV sci-fi shows as you can.
Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek.
You win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? We have V. Starman, the TV series. How about Buckaroo Banzai, the sci-fi show?
That's a movie.
Was that a
That was a movie.
show?
E.T.
Movie.
The mini series.
Whatever, dude.
The animated holiday special.